The rain hammered the cracked sidewalks of Brooklyn like God's own judgment, turning the narrow alley behind my brownstone into a river of regret. I stood there, frozen, my key still dangling from the lock I'd just turned, but the door swung open on its own, pushed by the sight that gutted me like a fish on the docks. Michael, my Michael, the man I'd built my fragile world around for 3 years, was tangled in the arms of some faceless gym rat, their laughter echoing off the peeling wallpaper like shards of broken glass. "Fuck you, Alex," Michael spat, not even bothering to pull up his jeans, his hazel eyes cold as the East River in winter. "You think this is some fairy tale? Grow up." I didn't scream, didn't fight, just backed away, the world tilting on its axis, my heart a lead weight in my chest. The door slammed in my face, the lock clicking with finality, and that's when the sobs came, ugly, heaving things that doubled me over right there in the downpour. He'd promised me forever once, under the twinkling lights of the High Line. His fingers laced through mine as the city buzzed below us like a hive of indifferent stars. "You're my anchor, Alex," he'd whispered, his breath warm against my ear, tasting like cheap Merlot and hope. We'd met at that godforsaken coffee shop in Williamsburg, the one with the exposed brick and overpriced lattes, where I'd spilled my Americano all over his pristine loafers. He laughed it off, bought me a replacement, and just like that, I was hooked on his easy smile, his quick wit, the way he made me feel seen in a city that chewed up dreamers like me and spat out husks. I was 28, a graphic designer scraping by on freelance gigs, crashing on friends' couches until Michael scooped me up like some lost puppy. He was older, 32, a rising star in finance, all sharp suits and sharper ambition, with an apartment in Cobble Hill that overlooked the harbor. Our first night together, he cooked pasta, burnt it, and we ended up on the floor, tangled in takeout boxes and each other, whispering secrets in the dark. "I'm out to everyone but my folks," he'd confessed, tracing circles on my thigh. "But with you, I feel free." Lies. All of it, poisoned from the start. I'd ignored the signs. The late nights at the office that smelled like cologne I didn't recognize. The phone he'd flip face down when I walked into the room. The way his touches grew perfunctory, like checking items off a list. I told myself it was stress, the market crash looming like a storm cloud over Wall Street. But deep down, I knew. Gay life in New York wasn't some rom-com montage. It was grinder ghosts and ghosting, brunches dissecting heartbreaks, the constant hum of rejection under the rainbow flags. Now, soaked to the bone, I stumbled down the alley, the rain mixing with tears on my face. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Probably Sarah, my best friend from design school, checking in after our missed call. I ignored it, veering toward the dive bar on the corner, the neon open sign flickering like a siren's call. Inside, it was dim and smoky, the kind of place where sad sacks nursed whiskeys and traded war stories. I ordered a double neat, slamming it back, the burn a poor substitute for the ache blooming in my chest. That's when I saw him, William, though I didn't know his name yet. He was at the end of the bar, nursing a beer, his broad shoulders hunched under a faded leather jacket. Mid-30s, maybe, with a jawline that could cut glass and eyes like stormy Atlantic waves. Blue-gray, piercing. He wasn't flirting with the bartender or scrolling his phone. He was just there, watching the rain lash the window with a quiet intensity that made my skin prickle. Our eyes met in the mirror behind the bottles, and for a split second, the world narrowed to that reflection. Me, wrecked and dripping, Him, steady as oak. He nodded, almost imperceptibly, then slid a napkin my way when the bartender wasn't looking. Scribbled on it, "You look like you need this more than me." Underneath, a phone number. I laughed, bitter and broken, crumpling it in my fist. What did some stranger know about my unraveling? But as I ordered another round, the words echoed, "You look like you need this," and something cracked open inside me, a sliver of light in the abyss. By midnight, the bar had emptied, leaving just us and the grizzled owner wiping down counters. William finally spoke, his voice low and gravelly, laced with that faint southern drawl that spoke of Carolina roots transplanted to Yankee soil. "Rough night." "Ha!" I snorted, staring into my glass. "You could say that." Boyfriend decided he prefers variety. Walked in on the encore. He winced. Genuine, not the performative sympathy I'd grown numb to. "Shit. That's... I'm sorry, man. Name's William." "Will, if you want." "Alex." I extended a hand, slick with condensation, and he shook it firm. Calluses rough against my palm, artist's hands. "Maybe, or labor." Close. He smelled like pine soap and rain-damp wool, grounding in a way Michael's Chanel cologne never was. We talked, or rather, I spilled, the whiskey loosening my tongue like a confessor's veil. About Michael, the apartment I'd have to vacate, the freelance drought that meant I was one bad month from eviction. William listened, really listened, nodding at the right beats, his eyes never leaving mine. He was a photographer, freelance too, shooting for indie mags and weddings when the gigs dried up. Divorced, no, not from a wife, but from the closet he'd hidden in back in Raleigh, where family Bible studies clashed with his awakening at 22. "Left it all behind," he said, tracing the rim of his glass. "Came here chasing light. Found shadows instead." There was poetry in him, raw and unpolished, and for the first time that night, I felt the knot in my chest loosen. Not fixed, God. No, but breathed into. When last call came, he walked me out, umbrella in hand he'd fetched from God knows where. The rain had eased to a drizzle, streetlights haloing puddles like fallen halos. "You gonna be okay?" he asked, hesitating at the corner. I shrugged, forcing a smile that didn't reach my eyes. "Haven't died yet," he chuckled, soft. "That's a start." Then, impulsively, he pulled a card from his wallet, his photography business, simple black stock with a single lens icon. "If you need a shoulder, or a darkroom, call." Pocketed it, waving goodbye as he melted into the night. Back in my sublet, a cramped studio above a laundromat that reeked of detergent and despair, I collapsed on the futon, the card burning a hole in my jeans. Sleep came fitful, dreams laced with Michael's betrayal and William's steady gaze. Morning brought hangover haze and a text from Michael, "We need to talk. Your stuff's in boxes." No apology, just logistics, like I was a line item on his P&L sheet. I deleted it, showered off the grime, and headed to my co-working space in Dumbo, the bridges mocking me with their permanence. Sarah was there, perched on my desk with 2 matcha lattes, her pixie cut dyed electric blue this week. "Spill, bitch. You look like death warmed over." I did, every humiliating detail, ending with the bar stranger. She hugged me fierce, then pulled back with a grin. "William, huh? Sounds like a plot twist." "Go for it. Michael's trash, recycle him." I laughed, the sound rusty, but her words stuck. That afternoon, staring at a blank InDesign file for a client's rebrand, I pulled out the card. Fingers hovering over my phone, I typed, "Thanks for the napkin. Alex, could use that shoulder tonight?" His reply came swift, 7 p.m. Same bar? Fate or folly? I showed up early, nerves jangling like subway tracks. He was there, 2 stools down, a sketchpad open to moody cityscapes in charcoal. We ordered wings, greasy, perfect, and talked for hours, the conversation flowing like we'd known each other lifetimes. He shared stories of his ex, a gallery curator who'd ghosted him after a show in Chelsea, leaving William questioning if love was just another exposure setting. "You're stronger than you think," he said, clinking his bottle to my glass. "Betrayal's a teacher." Harsh, but it strips away the bullshit. By closing time, the rain had returned, but this time felt cleansing. He walked me home again. No umbrella, just shared silence under the awning. At my door, he lingered, raindrops beating on his lashes. "Alex," he murmured, voice rough. "You deserve more than scraps." Our hands brushed, electric, and I swear the city held its breath. But I pulled back, scared of the pull, the possibility. "Night, Will," he nodded, vanishing into the storm. Alone, I touched my lips, wondering what it would feel like to lean in. Days blurred into a rhythm of avoidance and ache. I packed my life into cardboard tombs, shipping Michael's cast-offs to a storage unit in Queens. Freelance picked up, a gig designing album art for an indie queer folk band, and Sarah dragged me to a drag brunch in Bushwick, where glitter bombs and mimosas dulled the edges. But nights were the worst, the futon a battlefield of what-ifs. William texted sporadically, memes about bad exes, links to photo exhibits. A casual "how's the shoulder holding?" I replied in kind, keeping it light, but the undercurrent simmered. One evening, after a client call gone south, I caved and called him. "Wanna grab falafel?" My treat, for the napkin. He met me at the truck on Atlantic Avenue, wind whipping falafel wrappers like confetti. We ate on a bench facing the BQE, cars roaring past like indifferent beasts. That's when he opened up about Michael, not knowing, just sensing. Heard through the grapevine. Small world. NYC. I tensed, fork pausing midair. Grapevine, Sarah's got a big mouth. In a good way, he grinned, sheepish. She cornered me at a show last week. Vet purposes. I groaned, but warmth bloomed. Sarah, my meddling guardian. So you're the rebound candidate? William's eyes darkened. Serious. Not if you don't want. But Alex, life's too short for safe plays. We walked after, through Fort Greene's brownstones, leaves crunching underfoot like brittle memories. At my door, again that charged air. This time, I didn't pull away when his fingers grazed my jaw. Will, but the door buzzed, delivery guy with my mail, and the moment shattered. He laughed it off, kissed my cheek, chaste, brotherly, and left. I slammed inside, heart pounding. What was I so afraid of? Michael had been safe, predictable poison. William, he was wildfire, unpredictable and alive. The next week brought the storm's eye, Michael's talk. He showed up at the co-working space, all polished and penitent, flowers in hand like a Hallmark apology. Babe, I fucked up. Can we try? I stared at him, the man who'd held my hand through coming out to my conservative Ohio family, who'd danced with me at Pride under confetti rain. But the image of him with that guy overlaid everything. A scar. No, Michael. We're done. He pleaded, cajoled, then turned ugly. You'll regret this. No one's gonna want your broke ass. The words landed like punches, but as he stormed out, Sarah appeared, arms crossed. Proud of you, kid. That night, I texted William. Falafel was good. Dinner tomorrow? My place. I cook. His reply, it's a date. I spent the day scrubbing the studio, nerves fraying like old denim. Pasta al dente this time and a bottle of Chianti. He arrived at 7 sharp, bearing a 6-pack and that sketch pad, flipping to a page that stole my breath. Me, at the bar that first night, captured in swift strokes, vulnerable, real. You saw me like that? I whispered, throat tight. Couldn't look away. He set it down, stepping close. The air hummed. Dinner was laughter and stories, his Carolina childhood, hiding crushes on the quarterback, my Midwest awkwardness, first kiss stolen behind the bleachers. After, on the couch, the movie forgotten, his hand found mine. Alex, I kissed him. Soft at first, tentative, tasting salt and possibility. He responded, deepening it, his palm cupping my neck like I was porcelain. When we broke, gasping, he rested his forehead to mine. Been wanting that since the rain. Me too. God, me too. But as we tangled, clothes shedding like old skin, doubt whispered, too soon? Rebound? I pushed it down, losing myself in him. The breadth of his chest, the rumble of his voice sang my name like prayer. Morning light filtered through blinds, his arm heavy across my waist. For the first time in weeks, I woke without the vice around my heart. William stirred, smiling sleepy. Coffee? We made it together, bumping hips in the tiny kitchen, domestic and new. He had a shoot in the afternoon, some corporate headshots in Midtown, but promised dinner after. Your turn to pick. As he left, kissing me lingering at the door, I felt it, hope, fragile but fierce. Little did I know, Michael wasn't done. That afternoon, my phone lit up with voicemails, him, drunk and desperate, then furious. You'll come crawling back. Delete. But the last one chilled. Ask your new boy toy about his ex-wife. Bet he didn't tell you everything. My stomach dropped. Ex-wife? William had said divorced from the closet. No mention of a woman. Paced, rationalizing, maybe a cover story, common in the South. But the seed planted, doubt's first sprout. I met William at a bistro in Park Slope, all exposed beams and candlelight. He was radiant, animated about his shoot, but my smile faltered. Over entrees, I blurted, Michael called. Said something about an ex-wife. The fork paused midway to his mouth. Color drained from his face. Alex, it's not. Tell me. My voice cracked, the betrayal echo too fresh. He sighed, setting down the utensil. Her name was Laura. High school sweetheart. We married young, thought it'd fix me. Lasted 2 years. She knew, in the end. Divorced amicably. I came out fully after. Relief flooded, mixed with shame. Why didn't you say? Didn't want to scare you off. Sounds messy. He reached across, thumb stroking my knuckles. I'm all in, Alex. No ghosts. I believed him. We finished dinner tangled in apologies and kisses, walking home hand in hand, the city our witness. but ghosts have long memories. A week later, at a gallery opening in Soho, William's photos on display, stark urban nudes that stripped souls bare, Michael appeared. Slinking through the crowd like a shadow, champagne flute in hand, eyes locked on us. "Alex," he purred, ignoring William. "Slumming it with the artsy type? Cute." William tensed beside me, arm slipping protective around my waist. "Not now, man." Michael laughed, sharp. "Oh, I know all about you, Will. That little secret from Raleigh? The one that ended with a payout to keep quiet." My blood ran cold. William's grip tightened, but his face was stone. "Walk away." But Michael leaned in, voice venom. "Ask him about the kid, Alex. The one he left behind." The room spun. "Kid? William had a child?" The whispers started, heads turning. I pulled away, stumbling toward the exit, rain greeting me like an old foe. Outside, William caught up, grabbing my arm. "It's lies. All of it." "Then explain," I shouted, tears hot. "A wife, a kid, what else?" He deflated, rain mingling with anguish on his face. "No kid. But Laura got pregnant near the end. Miscarried. Blamed me, the stress of my confusion. We settled out of court. NDA for the family name. It's buried. Betrayal, layered and raw. You should have told me." "I know." His voice broke. "I was scared you'd see me as broken." I turned away, chest heaving. "I already am." He stepped closer, desperate. "Alex, please." The dam burst then, sobs tearing free. The weight of Michael, of this, crashing down. "And William?" He held me while I cried, then kissed me in a way I never imagined possible before, fierce and tender, pouring every unspoken vow into the press of lips, the tangle of tongues, rain sealing us like fate's own ink. We broke apart gasping, the kiss a lifeline in the tempest, but doubt lingered like smoke after a fire. William's hands framed my face, thumbs wiping rain from my cheeks, his eyes pleading in the street lamp's glow. "Come home with me," he murmured. "Let me show you I'm not him." I wanted to, God. The pull was magnetic, but the gallery's door swung open, spilling light and murmurs, and with it, Michael's smirk from the threshold. Touching. "But run while you can, Alex. He's got more skeletons than a Halloween store." William whirled, fists clenched. "Get the fuck out, Michael. This isn't about you." "Oh, but it is." Michael sauntered closer, oblivious to the rain or the stairs. "You think you're the hero here, Mr. Photographer with the tragic backstory? I did my homework after Sarah spilled. That NDA is public record if you dig. And the payout? For emotional distress. Laura's family nearly sued for fraud, marrying under false pretenses." The words landed like shrapnel, each one embedding deeper. William's jaw ticked, but he didn't deny it. Instead, he stepped between us, voice low thunder. "Leave, now. Or I call security." Michael laughed, backing away with mock salute. "Your funeral, boys. Enjoy the drama." He vanished into a cab, taillights winking like a predator's eyes. Silence fell, heavy as the downpour. I searched William's face, seeing the cracks now, the way his shoulders sagged, the flicker of old shame in his gaze. "Is it true?" I whispered. He nodded, slow. "Yeah. But it's not what he makes it sound. Laura and I, We were kids playing house. I thought marriage would make the feelings go away. Didn't. When she found out, it broke her. The miscarriage. It was devastating. We both signed the NDA to bury it. Move on. I left Raleigh the next week. Came here to start over. Empathy warred with hurt in my chest. Why hide it from me? After everything with Michael, I needed truth. I know. He raked a hand through wet hair, droplets scattering. Feared it'd paint me as the villain. The guy who wrecked a woman's life. You're not. I stepped closer, tentative, my fingers brushing his coat. But secrets. They fester. He pulled me into a hug then, fierce, his chin resting on my head. No more. I swear. We stood like that until the rain slowed to mist, the city exhaling around us. His walk-up in Bed-Stuy was a third-floor affair, stairs creaking under our weight, the air thick with the scent of developing chemicals from his darkroom nook. The space was chaos organized, canvases leaning against walls, camera gear on every surface, a king bed shoved in the corner draped in navy sheets. He brewed tea chamomile, soothing, while I peeled off sodden layers, borrowing his robe, soft flannel that smelled like him. We curled on the bed, legs entwined, the gallery drama fading to a hum. Tell me everything, I said, tracing the tattoo on his forearm, a compass rose, inked in faded black. So he did, voice steady as he unraveled the tapestry. Growing up in Raleigh, trailer park edges, football fields where he'd tackle boys a little too hard, linger in locker rooms a beat too long. Church every Sunday, fire and brimstone sermons on Sodom. His father's belt for any softness. Laura was escape, sweet, forgiving, the girl who saw his smiles as promise. Married at 20, he said, staring at the ceiling fan's lazy spin. Thought it'd anchor me. But the nights alone, staring at her sleeping. I hated myself. The miscarriage came at 6 months, a fall downstairs, doctors murmuring stress and complications. Laura's grief turned to rage, her family's lawyers circling. The settlement was hush money, yes, but also therapy funds. Clean break. William fled north, camera in hand, chasing frames that captured what words couldn't. Fractured skylines, lovers in shadow, the beauty in broken things. You? He asked, turning to me, finger tucking hair behind my ear. You're ghosts. I spilled then. Ohio farm boy, first crush on the neighbor's son, stolen glances over hay bales. College in Columbus, where I came out in a haze of beer and bad poetry, only to have my dad mail back my pride flag with a note. Pray on it, son. Michael had been rebellion, city slick and sure, but underneath, my fear of forever, of being unlovable. We talked till dawn, vulnerabilities bared like negatives in developer. When sleep claimed us, it was tangled, safe, his heartbeat a steady drum against my back. Morning brought beignet from the corner bakery, powdered sugar dusting the sheets as we laughed over coffee. No more hiding, he vowed, kissing my temple. Partners in the mess. I believed him, diving back into us with tentative joy. Days turned to weeks, a rhythm emerging. Mornings in my studio sketching logos, him on shoots across the boroughs. Evenings cooking mishmashes, stir-fry gone wrong, leading to takeout and make-up sex that left us boneless. Sarah approved, dragging us to karaoke nights where Williams' off-key Dylan covers made me snort wine. But Michael lurked, a specter in voicemails I blocked, emails slithering into spam. One night, post-dinner at a Thai spot in Crown Heights, my phone buzzed with an unknown number. I answered, against better judgment. "Alex, it's Laura," soft southern lilt, hesitant. "William gave you my number? Said you deserved the full story." My fork clattered. William, across the table, paled. "She reached out last week. Thought it was time." I excused myself, stepping into the humid night. "Hello." Her voice trembled, but kind. "Heard you're important to him. Wanted you to know, I'm okay now. Married a teacher, got a little girl." The past. It was pain, but not his fault. We were both lost, relief washed, mingled with gratitude. "Thank you for saying that. He's a good man, Alex. Broken like us all, but good." We hung with well wishes, and I returned to find William anxious, twisting his napkin. "Truth." I slid into the booth, taking his hand. "She's right. You're good." We made love that night in his apartment, slow and reverent, bodies mapping forgiveness. Afterward, sweat cooled and sated, he traced my spine. "Love you," he whispered, first time spoken. My heart stuttered. "Love you too." Bliss, fragile as spun glass. Fall deepened, leaves carpeting Prospect Park where we jog, hand in hand, dodging dog walkers and tourists. His exhibit sold prints, a nude of me, anonymous but intimate, shadows playing over collarbones. My designs landed a book cover, steady income trickling. Yet, undercurrents stirred. Michael's betrayal festered, not in jealousy of William, but in self-doubt. Was I the problem? Too needy? Too plain? Therapy helped. Sarah's insistence. A queer counselor in Flatbush who unpacked the Ohio baggage. But scars itched. One crisp November evening, William suggested a road trip, upstate, to the Catskills, his old Nikon begging for autumn foliage. "Just us," he said, packing a cooler with IPAs and sandwiches. "Recharge." We drove in his battered Subaru, radio blasting Springsteen, windows down to crisp air scented with pine. The cabin was rustic, log walls, stone fireplace, a loft bed overlooking woods ablaze in red and gold. That first night, fire crackling, we roasted marshmallows, his stories of boyhood camps turning poignant, hiding kisses with a counselor's son under tent flaps. "You're my safe place," I told him, head on his chest, embers glowing. His fingers stilled in my hair. "And you mine." But dawn brought a call, his agent, a gallery in Manhattan offering a solo show. Elation, then shadow, travel to scout locations, weeks on the road. "Come with?" he asked. Work tethered me, a deadline looming. "Next time." He left a week later, kisses lingering at Penn Station, promise of FaceTimes and quick visits. Alone, the apartment echoed, my sketches turning melancholic, blues and grays bleeding into margins. Michael struck then, insidious. An envelope arrived, no return address, stuffed with printouts. Blurry photos of William at a bar in Raleigh last month, arm around a man who wasn't me, timestamps from a research trip, captioned in Michael's scrawl. "Some things don't change." Rage boiled, then ice. Was it real, photoshopped revenge? I called William, voicemail after voicemail, panic rising. Finally, connection, static-laced, him in some Adirondack motel. "Alex, what's wrong?" I read the note, voice shaking. Silence stretched, then his sigh, Weary. It's bullshit. That trip was for family. My sister's wedding. The guy? Her husband. Michael's twisting it. Proof? I demanded. Irrational. Send pics. I will. But trust me, babe. Please. I hung up, tears pricking, the old wound reopening. Trust, such a fragile thread. Days dragged. His emails with attachments. Wedding albums. Timestamps matching. The man in question kissing a bride who looked eerily like William but softer. Feminine. Guilt crashed. Michael's poison. Seeping still. I apologized in a flood of texts. Him reassuring we're good. Miss you. But the seed, once more, took root. What if there were more? What if I was just the New York chapter? William returned 2 weeks later. Train-weary but beaming. Arms full of maple syrup and a vintage camera lens. For your artsy eye. We fell into bed. Reconnection feverish. But my touches held back. Hesitation a ghost between us. He noticed. Post-climax. Propping on elbow. Talk to me. I confessed the doubts. The photos toll. He listened. Then pulled me close. Michael's a manipulator. But I'm here. All in. We vowed therapy together, couple sessions. Unpacking closets, both literal and figurative. Progress came slow, but real. Date nights at jazz clubs in the village, where saxophones wailed our unspoken fears. Hikes in the Palisades, hands linked over Hudson views. Christmas loomed, first shared. I flew to Ohio, braving Dad's awkward silences, Mom's passive prayers, while William hosted his sister in Brooklyn. Bridge building tentative. New Year's. We rang in at a rooftop party in Williamsburg. Fireworks bursting over the skyline as he knelt. Not proposal, just a key on a chain. To my home. Ours. Tears came. Joyful. Yes. Spring bloomed. Tentative. My career surged, a agency contract. Steady pay, and William's show sold out. Critics praising his raw humanism. We moved. Pooling for a one-bedroom in Greenpoint. Harbor views and creaky floors our canvas. But betrayal's echo whispered. One humid June night, post-gallery crawl, Michael cornered us outside a Soho bar drunk, disheveled, career in tatters from the crash. Alex, he slurred, eyes red-rimmed. I miss you. This guy's a rebound. Come back. William stepped forward. Calm. He's happy. Let go. Michael lunged, fist wild, grazing William's jaw. Chaos, shouts, bouncers hauling him away, sirens wailing distant. In the aftermath, I saw knuckles. William bled a truth. I punched a guy once, back in Raleigh. After the divorce. Bar fight. Buried it, but violence in me. I cleaned the cut, heart aching. We're human. Flawed. He searched my eyes. You still want this? More than ever. Summer deepened our bond, beach weekends in the Hamptons. Borrowed from a client. Where we swam naked under moonrise. Bodies silvered. Love-making salty and endless. But autumn brought storm clouds. William's father, dying of cancer. A call from hospice. Go, I urged, packing his bag. Family's family. He flew south. Days stretching to a week. Then 2. Texts grew sparse. Voice calls strained, hospital beeps underscoring words. Dad wants to see me. Alone. I paced our apartment. Ghosts multiplying. What truths would surface? The old wounds? He returned changed, thinner. Eyes haunted. bearing ashes in a cedar box. Forgave me, in the end. Said he knew, always. Loved anyway. We mourned together, scattering on the East River at dawn, words washing away with the tide. In grief's grip, our love deepened, roots twisting tighter. Yet, Michael's shadow lingered. A letter arrived, his suicide note, forwarded from his doorman. Couldn't live without you, Alex. Your fault. Guilt stabbed. Irrational. William held me through the sobs. Not yours. His choices. Therapy unpacked it, layer by layer. We emerged scarred but whole, planning a future. A joint exhibit, my designs framing his photos, a life woven. One crisp October eve, walking the High Line, where Michael once promised forever, William stopped, pulling a ring from his pocket. Simple platinum band etched with a compass. Marry me? Not perfect, but yours. Tears blurred the cityscape. Yes. The proposal hung in the air like confetti from a burst piñata. The High Line's elevated tracks humming with distant traffic below. The Hudson glittering under twilight's first stars. William's hand trembled slightly as he slid the ring onto my finger. Cool metal warming to skin, the compass etching a promise against my knuckle. Not about perfection, he said, voice gravel soft. About choosing you, every damn day. I pulled him close, our kiss sealing it amid joggers and tourists snapping selfies, the world blurring to just us. Laughter bubbled up after, giddy and disbelieving. Engaged. Holy shit. Will. He grinned. That Carolina flash of teeth. Call Sarah. She'll demand champagne. We did, her squeal audible from across the borough, insisting on an impromptu toast at our spot, the dive bar where it all began. Beers turned to shots, toasts slurring into the night, to betrayals burned, to closets kicked wide. Stumbling home, arms linked, the ring caught lamplight like a beacon. Planning consumed us, joyful chaos. No lavish affair, against the Vegas excess of New York's gay scene, but intimate, ours. A loft in Bushwick, fairy lights strung like fireflies, close friends and chosen family. Invites went out handwritten, my script looping vows beside his bold print. But joy's underbelly stirred. Michael's note haunted, a specter in quiet moments. Your fault. Therapy dissected it, his manipulations, my survivor's guilt. But the scar itched, especially when William's phone buzzed late with unknown numbers. Clients, he'd say, but doubt's whisper grew. Fall deepened, leaves turning the park to flame. My agency gig stabilized, affording a down payment dream, while William's fame ticked up, interviews in Out magazine, panels on queer visibility. Pressure mounted. He withdrew, sketches turning angular, nights spent in the darkroom till dawn. One evening, post-argument over wedding playlists, his Dylan obsession clashing my pop leanings, I found a letter in his jacket pocket. Not Michael's poison, but from Laura, congrats on the engagement. If you need, I'm here. For both of you. Warmth, not threat. But why hidden? Confrontation brewed over takeout lo mein, steam curling like accusations. Why not tell me? He sighed, chopsticks pausing. Didn't want to stir old pots. She's a friend now, Alex. Closure, trust frayed, threadbare. Feels like secrets again. His eyes flashed hurt. I'm not Michael. The words landed wrong. A grenade in the room. Silence stretched. Then I stormed out, walking Brooklyn's grid till blisters formed. He found me on a bench by the Gowanus, coat draped over shoulders. "Sorry," he murmured, sitting close. "You're right." Transparency. We reconciled in whispers, bodies mending what words rent, but the crack lingered. Winter blanketed the city in hush, our wedding 3 months out. Bachelor party. Sarah's domain, turned raucous. Speakeasy crawl in the LES. Drag queens lip-syncing Gaga. Shots that blurred boundaries. William's crew, Fodig buddies. A sculptor ex-fling turned platonic. Roasted him gentle. Tales of his awkward early days in the scene. Mine was tamer. Sarah and 2 designers. Spa day morphing to wine tasting. Dissecting vows over Cabernet. "He's it," I confessed. Ring glinting. "Scary. But it." She clinked glasses. "Damn right. Don't fuck it up." Rehearsal dinner. A week before. Unfolded flawless. Italian in Carroll Gardens. Toasts warm. His sisters from Raleigh. Tearful bridge to past. My mom's video call. Thawing Ohio frost. But Michael's ghost crashed uninvited. A package at the venue. Addressed to me. Contents spilling like bile. Photos of William and the wedding guy. Cropped to imply intimacy. With a note. Knew he'd stray. "Save yourself." Rage boiled. I tore it to shreds. But William saw. Face ashen. How's he even know? Stalking. Probably. I crumpled the remnants. Ignore it. But eyes followed him that night. Suspicion's lens sharpening. Who was the sculptor X? Laughing too close? The client calls. Now daily? The wedding dawned gray. Flurries dusting brownstones. Loft transformed. White linens. Succulents in mason jars. Projector looping our photos, rainy alley kiss. Catskill sunset. High line proposal. Guests milled 50 souls. Rainbow spectrum. Sarah officiating in sequins. Vows penned in fevered nights. I waited backstage. Suit tailored sharp. Heart jackhammer. William appeared. Breathtaking in navy. Boutonniere a single tortilla. Ready. His kiss lingered. Grounding. The ceremony. Strings swelling. Us facing under a chuppah of branches. Sarah's voice weaving Jewish roots with queer flair. Vows poured, mine halting. His steady. You saw me in the rain. Unbroken. I vow to hold you through every storm. Rings exchanged. Kiss erupting cheers. Confetti cannons bursting joy. Reception blurred. Cake cutting. Red velvet. Rainbow layers. First dance to it last. Etta's soul wrapping us tight. But midway. Buzzkill. A guest pulls me aside. William's Fodig pal. Buzzed on Prosecco. Heard from Michael? Dude's unhinged. Sent me shit too. Claims Will's got a side piece uptown. Dismissed as drunk babble. But seed sprouted. I found William on the loft's edge. Smoking rare. City lights below. Everything good? Yeah. Too quick. Just. Overwhelmed. We danced more. Laughed. But his phone vibrated insistent. Silenced. But I saw the name R. Heart sank. Who? Bed that night. In a hotel overlooking Times Square. Love-making tender but edged. My touches seeking reassurance. His responses fervent yet distant. Dawn. Tangled sheets. I whispered. Love you. Love you. But sleep evaded. Ring heavy. Honeymoon. Iceland. Booked impulsive geysers and glaciers. Hot springs steaming under auroras. Flights delayed. We arrived jet-lagged. Reykjavik's geothermal pools calling. Soaking. Steam veiling. We talked dreams. Adopting, maybe, a city kid needing roots, gallery in Brooklyn, joint space. But jet lag cracked facades. Night 2. In our geothermal hotel, he woke screaming, nightmare of Raleigh, father's deathbed recriminations. I held him, but confessions spilled. The show pressure is killing me. And our Raleigh editor, pushing for a book deal. Nothing more. Relief. Partial. Tell me next time. I will. Magic resumed. Blue Lagoon blues. Hiking black sand beaches. Northern lights dancing like fate's approval. Back in NYC. Glow lingered. Our apartment now home. Walls hung with framed prints. Shelves mingling our books. Spring thawed, but cracks widened. My agency promoted me senior designer. Travel to LA for pitches. While Williams' book deal signed. Deadlines looming. Distance crept. Him holed in darkroom. Me sketching in cafes. One June evening. Returning early from a client lunch. I found him on the couch. Laptop open to emails. Ours name. Thread endless. Curiosity overrode. I peeked. Miss our nights. When's NYC? Flirty. Intimate. Heart plummeted. Confrontation exploded. Who's our? Really? William startled. Face crumpling. Editor. Old friend. Harmless banter. Banter. I shoved the screen. This is foreplay. He deflated. Alex. It's nothing. Stress release. No meeting. No. Betrayal. The word hung. Michael's echo. You swore no secrets. Tears welled his. I'm scared. The book's exposing everything. Raleigh. The marriage. Therapy's digging up shit. I leaned on her. Texting. Stupid. Her. Or was Rachel. A she. Relief twisted to fury. A woman? After all. Friend. Alex. Not romantic. But trust shattered. Shards embedding. Out. Now. He packed a bag. Eyes pleading. Don't end us. Space. Door clicked shut. Final as Michael's once. Days blurred. Sarah's couch. Work autopilot. Sketches turning thorns. He texted apologies. Flowers arrived daily. Lilies. My favorite. Therapy solo. Unpacking the trigger. Not the flirt, but the hiding. Michael's blueprint. A week in. His call. Come to the darkroom? Please. I went. Our apartment dim. Red safe light glow. Prints drying us. In Iceland. Laughing under lights. The alley kiss. Rain eternal. These are for the book cover, he said. Voice raw. You. My truth. We talked till midnight, his pressures. My insecurities. The flirt a misplaced cry for normalcy. Forgiveness came slow, but real. A hug turning kiss. Bodies remembering. Summer healed. Tentative. Couples retreat in the Berkshires, yoga and talks. Vowing communication firewalls. Back. Stronger, weekly check-ins. His book draft shared chapter by chapter. My input woven in. Fall brought launch. His reading at McNally Jackson. Packed house. Me in front row beaming. Applause thundered. Afterward. Signing lines snaking. He pulled me on stage for a kiss. Mic'd whisper. To my muse. But winter whispered threats. Michael's fate surfaced. Rehab. Then relapse. A call from his sister begging forgiveness on his behalf. I hung up, but compassion stirred. Humanistic ache. William nodded. You're kind. That's why I love you. New Year's resolution. Volunteer at a queer youth center, mentoring kids from closets like ours. Stories echoed, Raleigh boys, Ohio runaways binding us deeper. Yet, climax brewed. Spring. My LA trip extended 2 weeks pitching, schmoozing Hollywood. William stayed, book tour starting. Distance stretched. Calls turned curt, texts emoji placeholders. Mid-trip, email from our forwarded chain. William's reply to her flirt. Can't. Engaged. Happy. Proof of growth. But why she sent? Meddling. Perhaps. Back home. Airport pickup warm. But his eyes shadowed. Missed you. Me too. Bed welcomed. But words unsaid. Days later. Bombshell. Knock at door. Laura on stoop. Suitcase in hand. Heard about the book. Old wounds reopening. Needed. Support. William hugged her. Platonic. But my gut twisted. Stay? He offered. Couch spare. She did 3 days. Talks in kitchen while I worked late. Laughter filtered. Intimate. Jealousy flared. Irrational. The X. In our space. Confrontation. Post-departure. What was that? Closure, he insisted. She's family now. Like my sister. But doubt roared. Or more. Hurt flashed. After everything? Storm broke. Shouts echoing off harbor views. Accusations flying. My paranoia. His naivety. Door slammed. He left for a hotel. Book tour escape. Alone. Regret tsunami. Called Sarah. I pushed too hard. Fix it, she urged. I flew to his Philly reading. Surprising backstage. Mic in hand. He froze mid-sentence. Eyes meeting mine across footlights. Post-show. Alley behind theater, echo of ours, he pulled me close. You came. Couldn't lose you. Kiss then. Desperate. Rain starting soft. No more running, he gasped. Promise. The Philly alley mirrored Brooklyn's. Brick walls slick with drizzle. Dumpster shadows pooling like spilled ink. But this time, no betrayal's sting. Just us. Raw and reaching. William's kiss was salt and absolution. Hands fisting my jacket as if I'd vanish. I thought. He murmured against my lips, voice fracturing. The distance. Your silence after LA. My fault. I cupped his face, thumbs tracing jaw's stubble. Feared I'd drive you away, like Michael did me. He pulled back, eyes fierce under street lamp haze. You're not him. We're not that story. We talked in the green room after. Champagne forgotten. His tour manager shooting sympathetic glances. Books half memoir, he confessed, flipping pages worn. The Raleigh chapters. They gut me. Dad's death. The marriage fallout. R and Laura? Lifelines then. Not now. I nodded, understanding dawning. And me? You're now. His smile broke. Tender. My always. Hotel that night. No frenzy. Just slow unraveling. Bodies mapping apologies in the dim. Morning. Over room service eggs. Plans hatched. Tour hiatus after Boston. A weekend reset in the Poconos, cabins and counselors. No. Just us. No tech. Back in NYC. Rhythm rebuilt. His book climbed charts. Queer lit darling. Panels buzzing with his humanism. Love's not linear. It's fractured light. Beautiful in pieces. My work balanced. LA pitches landed a series. But home anchored. We hosted dinners. Sarah and her girlfriend, his sister visiting with her wife, tables groaning with lasagna, laughter healing old divides. Summer sweltered, city a steam bath. Pride marched rainbow rivers down Fifth, us hand in hand, signs reading love wins, every messy mile. Float after float, but Michael's shadow flickered, a float for recovery centers, his face in a survivor collage, gaunt but grinning. No contact, but closures nod. Post-march, rooftop party, sweat and sangria, toasts to resilience. William cornered me by the rail, skyline electric. Adopt papers started, he whispered, envelope crisp in pocket. If you're ready, heart sword. Beyond, Fall's Harvest, Agency Award, my designs lauded for emotional depth. William's TEDx talk, Framing the Unseen, Queer Stories in Shadow Viral, invites pouring. But pressure peaked. He crashed one night, darkroom flood from a leak, prints ruined. I found him amid wreckage, on knees salvaging negatives. It's okay, I soothed, pulling him up. Reprint. You're more than product. He clung, sobs muffled in my shirt. What if I'm not enough? For you, the kid will have doubt, his old foe. We sat on wet floor, talking till dawn. Fears of fatherhood, his dad's belt, my Ohio silence. We'll learn, I vowed. Together, therapy evolved, family sessions prepped, role-playing disclosures to future child. Progress, his vulnerability, my patience, love's forge. Winter whispered by kitsch, tragedy in soft snows. Christmas, Raleigh pilgrimage, his mom's house, turkey and tension thawing to tears. Dad's old room, photos of young William in football gear, hiding smiles. Mom hugged me fierce. He chose well, back. New Year's Eve, Central Park bonfire, strangers and champagne, resolutions sealed in pyre flames. But spring stormed. Agency crisis, client pullout, layoffs looming. I poured nights into salvages, William's book deadlines clashing. Snaps frayed, missed dinners, curt texts. Climax crested May, his launch party, MoMA annex, glitterati swirling. I arrived late, pitch run long, suit rumpled. He shone on stage, anecdotes landing laughs, but eyes scanned for me, dimming when unmet. After green room crush, our peered, editor in chic sheath, air kiss lingering. Darling, the talk, genius, jealousy flashed. Old. I pulled him aside. Flirt again, he sighed, exasperated. Alex, stop. She's straight, married, professional. Proof? Later, hotel bar. Her husband in tow beaming, hand on her waist. Sheepish, I apologized over scotches. Ghosts, forgiven, his kiss forgave more. Yet, betrayal's final twist. Anonymous email. Week later, Michael's hand, scent of desperation. Attached, audio clip, William's voice, slurred post-party. Rachel, if not for Alex. Cut off, damning. Panic clawed. Played for him, face paling. Drunk ramble. Called her for book advice. Bourbon talking. Advice. Voice rose. Sounds like regret. Storm raged. Accusations. Tears. Door slam. He left for sisters. Bag hasty. Alone. Unraveling. Replayed clip. Context lost. Called our voicemail plea for truth. Her return. It was nothing. He vented tour stress. Mentioned what-ifs hypotheticals. Drunk nonsense. He's yours. Relief, but damage deep. Drove to Jersey. Her doorstep. Rain lashing. He answered. Eyes red. Go back, Alex. If you can't trust. I do. Collapsed in arms. Sobs sinking. Scared of losing. Me too. Held me while I cried. Then kissed me in a way I never imagined possible before. Deeper than proposals. Mending fractures with fire. We drove home silent. Dawn breaking. Couch confessions. His pressures peaking. My insecurities flaring. Therapy intensive, he proposed. And pause book 2. Agency expansions. Us first. Agreed. Summer sabbatical. Hampton's house sit. Days beach lounging. Nights stargazing. Adopt agency fast-tracked. Little Jamie. Freckles and fierce questions. 2 dads? Cool. Fall integrated, family hikes. School runs. Our loft expanding to 3. Michael's end. Obituary. Overdose quiet. Morning mixed relief. Pity. We donated to his center. Humanistic close. The obituary landed like autumn's last leaf. Michael's photo. Younger. Smiling untouched by shadows. Cause listed euphemistic. Complications from addiction. No services public. But his sister called. Voice cracked. He spoke of you. And said sorry. Wanted you to know. I hung up. Chest tight. William's arm steady around shoulders. You okay? Human. I murmured, folding the printout. He was flawed. Like us. We burned it that evening in the loft's tiny hearth. Flames devouring paper. Ashes to wind over harbor. Jamie, oblivious in his room building Lego towers, toddled out, Dada sad. William scooped him, tickles eliciting giggles. Nah, buddy. Just remembering. Humanistic grace. Forgiveness not forgetting, but releasing. Therapy wove it in, grief groups for queer losses. Jamie finger-painting emotions beside us. His questions came gentle. Why 2 rings? We answered simple. Love's big enough for 2. Winter wrapped us cozy. Tree trimming with rainbow ornaments. Hanukkah lax mingling gingerbread. Agency rebounded, new clients. Flexible hours for school pickups. William's second book brewed. This one co-authored. Our story. Anonymized. Frames of us. Spring bloomed tentative. Jamie's first recital. Us in front row. His violin screeching twinkle with earnest bow. After. Ice cream parade down Bedford. His hand sticky in mine. Best dads. Heart swelled. But echoes lingered. A nightmare. Mine. Michael's face morphing Williams. Betrayal's chill. Woke sweating will held. Whispering anchors. Summer sojourn. Road trip cross-country. Subaru packed with tents and dreams. Badlands to Big Sur. Jamie's awe at redwoods. Us stealing kisses at viewpoints. One Nevada night. Under Milky Way blaze. He turned. Regret nothing? Everything led here. Kiss starlit. Eternal. Fall harvest. Book launch joint. Frames of us. Packed house. Jamie reading crayon scribbles on stage. Critics hailed. A testament to love's resilience. Humanistic in its scars. Reviews poured. But deeper, letters from readers. Stories mirroring closets cracked. Betrayals bridged. We mentored more at the center. Jamie's playdates with Rainbow Kids forging family. Climax's echo faded. But one last wave. Laura's visit. Now auntie to Jamie. Stories shared over pie. No shadows. Just women strong. Men grateful. Winter's end. Anniversary. High line again. Snow dusting rails. Ring renewed, vows whispered. Jamie between. Holding strings of lights. Forever, Will said. Always. Life unfolded. Not linear but layered. Jamie's soccer goals. Our gallery opening. Photos mine designed. Is captured. Conflicts came. Teen tantrums. Deadline dashes, but rooted now. Weathering. One rainy eve. Years on. Alley walk, Jamie's grown. College bound, we paused. Remembering. Held you here, Will murmured, pulling close. Kissed me, lips met, familiar fire. He held me while I cried, then kissed me in a way I never imagined possible before. But now, tears joys, kiss promise kept. In America's vast tapestry, Brooklyn grit to California coasts, our thread wove humanistic, flawed, fierce, found. Love, not fairy tale, but real betrayals to bridges, shadows to light. And in that, redemption, not ending, but horizon, unbroken.